It's December, no, not December, March 18th.
Dad put all that stuff in the will. He wanted us to
Iron
run
Fist.
Rand with the technically we leave.
I got before I get ready to go outside and take a picture of this church, about to take a picture of the church and talk about the symbol on the church. I got about three more of these. I'm gonna do in a second. Like I said, in the middle I was gonna go get my hair cut, but not today. I'll probably wait till next month. I'm still waiting to hear back from law school about whatever. I'm gonna kind of leave that out. And I got a couple other issues that came up. Let me see how this play out. I'm about to show the symbol. The symbol is on the church, and the symbol is on the steeple of the tower of the church. This is something that somebody been waiting for me to say, but whoever was waiting for me to say it may be negative, you know. So I don't know how it is they're gonna take it. They tripping lightweight because it's the same symbol as on my arm. For me, on the symbol on the church is a symbol on my left arm at the sleeve. And right now, this is the symbol on my hand, on my right hand. You might know it from Israel or Hebrew and probably every other religious culture or religion on the planet. But it's you probably recognize the symbol over it. It's in the palms of my hand. I got a couple more. I got like one on my arm, my right arm, and one on my left. Those are the ones that I can see right now, you know. But there's one that's in the church that they just put up there, and then I'm gonna go take a picture of it later on. So I just wanted to say something before I went out there. I'm probably gonna say nothing when I'm outside. There's a lot of people who you know. Well, I'm mad at everything. I'm mad about everything. I'm pissed about this. You know, this is an outrage. But I got the symbol. For me, it's similar. It's very similar. It's very similar, almost exactly alike. But mine is on the right. I'll say the right inner side, closer to the bicep, is what I think is a symbol of a mountain. And on the left side, on the outer side, next to the tricep, it's like a letter or something. But it still looks similar to the figure 8. And it's a line straight down. And it's like a little number in there, like I think number 5 or something. And then it's like it swoops, it loops around. I won't say like a musical note. And then it goes all the way up almost towards my shoulder, where it's connected to like a little Y in the line. And when as soon as my veins start rolling, I'm gonna try to get a picture of it. It's such a hard angle for me to get. But I can't say nothing about it until I'm able to show. I can show it to somebody, but you know, nobody who wants to talk to him. Who wants to talk to him for it? So. But I got watching Iron Fist, man. So you know, I'm just checking that out. And then before I went outside, while the sun was still up, I got I really don't know what the symbol means. Like I said, one of them I think means mountain. It represents Mount Sinai. So some people who study Judaism know what Mount Sinai is. I think it's where I hear maybe part of the Torah, maybe the Torah for Jewish people or Judaism. The Torah, you might hear about it in there. I got or books of Exodus. I know in Genesis. I know it's in the book of Genesis, Mount Sinai. But I haven't looked at it too much. But I'm pretty sure that's what the symbol on my arm means. I got I'm trying to remember. But yeah, I got I'm gonna shoot this one out. I'm gonna take the next step in whatever the situation is to get to start. Yeah, I'm gonna turn this on now. And I got it's not that bad though, Iron Fist, man. It's not that bad. Okay, so I got anyway, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna look at it and then see how that go. And then I guess I'm gonna find out if I don't know. I don't know what it means, so I don't ask nobody. You know, and just for anybody who got a problem, part of me not asking nobody is for me being afraid to find out. You know, so like I say, like I was having issues with finding out my blood type, and for a while I didn't. I didn't know what my blood type was. I go in, and based on my skin color, somebody just called me African American. Like then one day it came back, and then I found out. Well, somebody called and told me my blood type about a couple years ago, and it was like, "This is your blood type," even though that may not be the correct blood type, but it was like it came back, and for me it wasn't African American. So I looked at it some just to see what regions did it cover, and it was I thought it was Brazil at first, but it was parts of Africa that you could find it in, but you would have to probably do your history on who inhabited Africa, in certain regions. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just in certain. You would have to really do your history there. It's parts of Africa that probably still not inhabited by whoever they think is there. But yeah, it turned out I wasn't African American though, and so I got well, you all know who would say you study the Quran. You can find some of these symbols. Oh yeah, the symbols. You can find some of these symbols in the Quran if you want to. You look it up. You might hear about Mount Sinai in the Quran. Most religious cultures may know that. But and then you look at the symbols that are on my arm and my right and my left arm are in my veins. So it's harder. I have to wait until my veins are showing. Your body goes through different stuff just based on stress levels. Sometimes certain veins may not show in your body. You know what I'm saying? Stress levels, like some might be stressed out. Some veins don't show. But I got some on my wrist too. I forgot about them. Two on my wrist. Different symbols, stuff like that. And I still don't know what all of them mean. So it's gonna be an experience for me. But I think somebody do know. Is the thing. I think that's why stuff goes the way it does. So like I say, I was waiting to hear back from law school to see how that went, and then I kind of cut that at that, just because I don't want to be talking more lessons about stuff, and then I gotta just gonna go to someone else and say, I see what you put up there on the church, man. I see that. You know what I'm saying? I got ain't too much else for me to say. Like I say, I probably ain't even go. I probably not. But I know someone else near me is listening to see what it is that I say about it. And it's more about what you think about it. You know what I'm saying? What you think. You know what I'm saying? So what do you think though? So what does symbol mean to you? I told you that this letter on my arm, I don't know what it means. It could be a K, a R, or a B. I don't know what letter it is. It's a number on there, number 5, with a negative sign next to it. I don't know what it means. It's another symbol that I think mean a mountain. I don't know what it means. And it still means, it look like a figure 8. So, you wait for me to say something, like, what it is you want me to say? Because all I can tell you is the truth. So, I got, you do a lot of stuff, though, to show that you understand something. And that's the thing. To where, I don't, but no one else seems to complain about it because I try not to. You think all of my minutes and my days would be into, telling you about the stuff you do. And like some of the stuff you do be real specific, man. To where, it's a reason you do that. Like it's a reason you do stuff. Anybody who makes certain moves or do something for a specific reason. Like I go outside now, I'm gonna go out specifically to look at this church and take this picture of it. Even though it's gonna get me in some kind of problem. It's gonna get me in trouble. Now everything I'll do after that gonna be for whatever reason, and it's gonna be what you think is good. So, when you sit here listening and see what it is I say, what it is you think you're trying to find out. Because I'm telling you, some of the stuff you do be for a reason. So, just leave it like that. But, I'm still trying to find out about the rest of the stuff. And it was never really a lot for me to say. I figured, time will go by. And then I have to say something, because I know someone else will put this up there and know that I say something about my, these symbols on my arm. The one on the right, I really don't want to be belittled like this. So I try not to go too forward with it. Because, whatever your belief is your belief, man. So, whatever it is is what you know. So you keep it that way. You don't have to force none of what you think on me. And so it's I don't know. It's like I say, it's not too much else I really can say too much about. And saying these much things is just, I don't know, man. But like I say, man, you could look it up in the Quran and look it up in, if you study in Judaism, Catholicism, Christianity, because like I say, it's in the books of Genesis, Mount Sinai, and Exodus. You got, let me see. I don't know. I don't want to tell you the rest of them, though, because I know people get mad about listening how many books it was in there. And if some of the, books should be in there, I'm like, why take it out? You put something in, why take one out? But then again, you got to see what it's founded in, though. So I don't know, I'm leaving it alone. And then, how many other religions is it? It's just how I say, the symbols that I'm carrying and I got are relevant in every religion. So, even some of the numbers that I say, like a 7-pot symbol, or a 4H symbol, whatever it is, each of these are relevant in things. So, you gotta have to figure out what it is that you're trying to represent when you tell people stuff. Because you do a lot of stuff, and I look at it differently. Like, I don't really like having to wait this long to hear my responses for stuff. I don't like waiting that long. But you cool with it, though. And so, I can't say nothing. But each of the things I say is relevant to something. And some people want to know their birth type, birth right, or whatever it is that they got. Some people want to know. So it'd be important to tell people stuff like that. Like when you come in and you see this dark-skinned Jewish dude, what do you tell him? You know what I'm saying? So then like you just let him go. What if you do want to change his diet, son, based on however you feel? You just don't say nothing, huh? So that's just things that people should think about, son. Like, what if I'm allergic though? How would I know? You may be able to see it in the blood. Who knows? But these things that matter here on planet Earth. So you got ain't too much else for me to say. I got I'll say 2 more minutes maybe, and I'll be do whatever I had saying that. But yeah, the stuff I say is relevant in every culture, in every religion, but however it goes. You know what I'm saying? Every one of these is relevant until you try to change something and say it doesn't mean as much. And it depends on what it is you're saying doesn't mean anything. You put this up there, so you got to explain what it is that you're trying to represent on. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about whoever it is that argues the fact that it's there. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about who argues that it's there. Because then you have to understand what your argument is. And don't go forward and say that you support it, because then you want to understand what it is that you're supporting too. So if you just feel that way about things, you feel that way about things, and you shouldn't speak strongly about any issue or any fact. Because a lot of the times it's easy to argue anything or anyone says when they say something. And that's the point. Whenever someone speaks, it's easy to argue or refute or say anything negative to them. So that's why I don't really care too much about talking myself and don't care too much about what other people say. So the thing is just that. I see a lot of that, a lot of detraction and things, and it's just for people saying things and having opinions. And and it's the easiest thing to do to argue someone who says something about the nature of something. Like, I don't like coffee. Like, so what? Don't drink it. So but then once you start to illustrate different facts about coffee and things like that, and anything can be argued. Like Dave drinks a lot of coffee. Like, you're right, I do. Drink coffee all the time. I don't drink it as much as you think I do. It's the point. You just want to contend because you don't see me doing much else. So you like, I don't understand. So, like I say, that it is like this said that I made this prior to where it is that I go, and saying that I don't have too many other intentions on doing what it is that people will see me do. And I'm sure that you will have some kind of overreaction to where you'll be aware of something and taking specific measures, specific moves, and never reveal what your purpose is. You'll never say what it is that you're doing. And it's funny to me sometimes because it's like the disaster that happens to people in their lives is crazy for someone who is so well intent or don't mean anything when they do stuff, when they just go somewhere and just hang out. So it'd be interesting to see, man. So I'm gonna check this out one more time and I'm gonna hang it up.